Hi all, welcome to this tutorial about how to perform t-tests in Excel. Before performing any test, I always recommend that you have the basic information that will help you in your analysis outlined. So one of them will be our alpha value, and the alpha value explains how extreme the observed result must be in order for you to reject the null hypothesis or accept the null hypothesis of your test. So we would set our alpha value to be 0.05, and we also want to record our null hypothesis. So for the null hypothesis, we are saying that the mean for sample A is the same as the mean for sample B. That is what we are hypothesizing. And for the alternate hypothesis, which I will represent by HA, we are saying that the mean of sample A differs from the mean of sample B. So it is not equal to the mean of sample B. Now that we have this information outlined, we can begin with our statistical test. So you do that by clicking on data, which is on the menu bar, and you look for the data analysis section. So for my Excel version, I can't find the data analysis section, which means that I would have to install it. And you do that by clicking on File on the menu bar, and you select options on the bottom left. Then you will see the Excel options menu. Click on Add-ins and then select Analysis Toolpack. You select Go, then another pop-up screen would be open. Take on the Analysis Toolpack and select OK. Let's click on the data analysis, and that opens a small box. On that, I would select a t-test 2 sample assuming equal variances. There are lots of other statistical tests that you can run using this style. So I would select the t-test 2 sample assuming equal variance and click on OK. And I would need to import my variable 1 range and variable 2 range. So by doing that, you would select on the first variable for this first sample. So mine is 10. Then you scroll down to it, and that will record all these data. And I will do the same for the sample B. So I will come and click on the variable 2 range. Then left click to select the first cell on sample B, the first cell that has my data for sample B, and again scroll down. The inbuilt alpha value here is 0.05. which happens to be what I even chose for my analysis. If you want to change that, you can left click on the box and change it however you want to change it. So then I would click on OK. And that opens another Excel sheet that have all the variables. I would make it bigger so that we can see what we have. Okay. So this is our 2 sample assuming equal variances, and you can extend this to see more. The mean for variable 1 and variable 2, which represent sample A and sample B, variance, number of observations, pooled variance, hypothesized mean, t-test, and that. So what I really need is the p-value, and because my alternate hypothesis was I would write it here again so that my alternate hypothesis was that the mean of sample A does differ from the mean of sample B, and that represents a two-tailed test. It represents a two-tailed test. So I am not looking at either a greater than or a less than. I just want to know that they differ or they do not differ. For a greater than, you would be implying that the mean of sample A is greater than the mean of sample B. For a less than, you would be implying that the mean of sample A is less than the mean of sample B. So those are other alternate hypotheses you can run on your data. But for this tutorial, I used the not equal to, which means that I just want to know if the two samples differ or not. And that will be this one. So the p-value here is 0.578497. And that is greater than my alpha value of 0.05. And so I would have to fail to reject the null hypothesis and then conclude that there is insufficient information to state that the samples differ. Yeah, so that would be how you would interpret the results that you had from the test you ran on the data. So this is one of the ways you can do it, and I personally recommend doing it this way. However, you can also do that by run the t-test by writing your formula. That is also simple to do. So you left click on any of the boxes on your Excel sheet, depending on where you want to see the p-value appear. So I would use this box and always begin your formula with an equal to sign. And because we are running a t-test, you would type t-test followed by open brackets. The first column we want to run is this one. So you select, then you put in a comma section to know that you have separated those sample data. Then the next variable or sample data we are using is this one. So you left click on the first box and you scroll down. So if you want a one-tail distribution, you would enter 1 on your keyboard. If you want a two-tail distribution, you would enter 2. I want to use a two-tail distribution, so I would enter 2, followed by comma. Again, you want either a paired, two sample equal variance, two sample equal variance. You enter the keys associated to it. So I would enter key 2 because key 2 is associated to two sample equal variance. And then close the bracket. Enter on your keyboard, and that gives you the p-value of 0.578497. So the results are quite the same, and the same. So p-value again is greater than alpha, and we will fail to reject and make the same conclusion. That will bring us to the end of this tutorial, and if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section and I would do my best to answer that. Have a wonderful time and see you next time.